It is 10:01 a.m. on this beautiful Friday morning, October 3rd, 2025. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. At this time, would everyone please stand? Commissioner Fincannon will give our invocation.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for your many blessings, Lord. Thank you for the beautiful weather we're having. It's the favorite time of the year, Lord, and I just thank you for it. Lord, continue to be with our country, with our state, our county, our city. It seems that times are always in a turmoil, and I just pray, Lord, that you give the leaders of our country to make the best decisions for what's best for the country. Lord, I ask for that same wisdom for us here on the court to make the best decisions for the citizens of the county, for the employees of the county. We're always striving to do the best we can, Lord. Just keep that. We just want to do what's right in your will. All these things we give thanks for and ask for through your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join us for the pledge, the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, everyone may be seated. I'm going to make sure we're not having technical. Okay, we're good. See how that works? All right, at this time, we're going to do a presentation, proclamation recognizing the 42nd Annual National Night Out. I believe Sheriff and Melvin, come up. So I'm gonna read the proclamation, and then I'll turn it over to you all to say some extra and talk about what National Night Out looks like this year. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch is sponsoring a unique nationwide crime, drug, and violence prevention program on October 7th, 2025, entitled National Night Out. And whereas the 42nd Annual National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for Wichita County to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative law enforcement community crime prevention efforts. And whereas the Wichita County Neighborhood Watch programs play a vital role in assisting the Wichita County Sheriff's Office through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in Wichita County, and is supporting National Night Out locally. And whereas it is essential that all citizens of Wichita County be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and impact that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in Wichita County. And whereas law enforcement community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Wichita County Commissioners Court does hereby call upon all citizens of Wichita County to join the Wichita County Sheriff's Office, the National Association of Town Watch, in supporting the 42nd Annual National Night Out on October 7th, 2025 as National Night Out in Wichita County. Melvin, turn it over to you.
Well, I'd just like to invite everyone to come out and celebrate with us. This is the opportunity to get all the citizens together in one place. We'll have a lot of equipment displays. We'll have a lot of activities for the kids as well as adults, and introduce them to our law enforcement and first responders. This is an opportunity. We are the citizens of Wichita County, and we definitely want the people to feel that they can come up to us anytime, talk to us about any issues they're having. Last year we had almost 300 people there.
Oh, wow.
So it's a great opportunity, and I certainly want to invite our Commissioners Court and all of our citizens to come out and join us. There'll be some great food and all kinds of great entertainment.
And where's it going to be?
It will be at the Kamay Volunteer Fire Department in the big city of Kamay, Texas.
There you go. Just a short little drive out west.
It's not that far.
And I do believe also a lot of the local police departments will also
Burke's
be
having
participating.
one, yeah.
Yes, Burke's having one, Wichita Falls will have one as well, so it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Come out and meet your law enforcement and first responders.
Yeah, one of the more fun things.
It is a fun event.
Yeah. Sheriff, would you like to add anything?
No, we'll cover it. KMA Fire Department starting at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
And Berkeley, I know, is having one as well in Softball Speak.
Okay. Perfect. That's next Tuesday night. Is that right?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. 6 o'clock came in.
And I'd also like to bring up one more event that's coming up the following Wednesday. Coffee with the Deputy at Frankie Joe's in Parker Square. Come out, meet the new sheriff if you haven't, and have a cup of coffee.
All right.
Awesome.
Excellent.
And
You
that's
might be
off
able
of
to- you
Kemp
might be
right
able to
there.
score one of
Is
those
that
famous
the one
Wichita
off
County-
of Kemp?
Which Frank and Joe's?
Parker Square.
Parker
Yeah,
Square,
the one
okay.
off camp.
And you might be able to score one of those Wichita County Sheriff's Office coffee mugs.
Oh, wow. I've seen those things go for $3,000-$4,000.
Well, I've got one for sale.
Commissioners, would you like to add anything?
No, the National Night Out, KMA is always a great event. The people out in KMA really go support that heavily, and I just appreciate y'all's presence out there and taking it away from the big cities and out into our communities. So I appreciate it being out there.
Thank you.
Will the helicopter come, Melvin?
It's scheduled.
That's
to come.
always
Unless
a
there's-
big hit.
Weather permitting.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
weather and other calls.
I heard Sheriff's gonna repel out of it.
Oh.
I may stay back if we get to rappel out of the helicopter.
I've never seen any need to get out of a perfectly
No,
functioning.
absolutely not.
But it's always a good turnout. It's a
Yeah.
great event.
They do a great job.
Saying
We'll
build
do a picture. I'll
publicity
let
for
you
you,
have the
brother.
proclamation.
Build publicity for you.
Yeah,
Hey, Will, get that picture up.
okay.
We,
I know.
like you saying,
A little too soon.
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Melvin, thank you.
All right, next up, we've got a presentation of proclamation recognizing October 5th through the 11th as National 4-H Week. So I'd like to invite all of our 4-Hers who have come this morning. I did have a request from our television producer to have you all line up along the front so that we can get everybody in the same shot. And that might be to also cover up the commissioners, but that's not your reason.
We need to be covered for sometimes.
So Katrina, I'll read the proclamation and then turn it over to you and introduce as you want to. Whereas this year's National 4-H Week theme, Beyond Ready, reminds us that 4-H is building a ready generation in a world of change and equips young people with skills for the future while meeting them where they are today. And whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, supporting 6 million youth across the country. And whereas 4-H programs are delivered by the Cooperative Extension System, a community of more than 100 public land-grant colleges and universities across the nation that provide experiences for young people to learn by doing. And whereas 4-H is in every city and county in the United States and helps 6 million youth become engaged, successful, and independent. And whereas 4-H connects young people and adults to their communities, preparing them for work and life through experiential and inquiry-based learning, while providing emerging research for positive youth development. And whereas expanding future leaders in science, agriculture, and community leadership is an important imperative for U.S. Department of Agriculture National Institute of Food and Agriculture 4-H program. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Wichita County Commissioners Court does hereby recognize October 5th through 11th as National 4-H Week in Wichita County and encourages all our citizens to recognize 4-H for the significant impact it has made and continues to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Trina, turn to you.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna let these young ladies introduce themselves. They are our state level, some of our state level ambassadors for the county. So they're representing not only Wichita County 4-H, but their projects as well as at the state level. So we'll start here.
No pressure.
None at all.
Hello, my name is Abigail Smits. I am Wichita County's Helping Texas Youth Ambassador.
Hi, I am Riley Golden and I am a shooting sports ambassador.
Hi, I'm Bailey Golden and I am a shooting sports ambassador.
Hi, I am Chloe Sherrod and I am a photography ambassador.
Welcome this morning.
So we have two more state shooting sports ambassadors who couldn't be with us here today at school calls. So, but we appreciate the support of the judge and the commissioners for all that y'all do for Wichita County 4-H. We love our new building. We appreciate that.
Good, good.
Next week is National 4-H Week. Monday, Dr. Rick Avery, our agency directors, challenge everybody to go green. So we expect to see lots of green in our county. Our agents may have some special photos planned as well for Go Green Day on Monday. People can tag Wichita County 4-H and Texas 4-H on social media. We will also be at National Night Out in KMA as well, with some kids representing and promoting 4-H there. So, and then we're going to end our day at one day 4-H is a National Day of Community Service, and we'll be at the Kemp Center's Fall Family Festival on Saturday, the 11th, from 10 to 2, doing some free activities and bringing some animals for kids in attendance to participate. They'll love on and pet, and so we're excited.
It's funny, for some organizations, national week like that is almost the one time a year that you see them do stuff with 4-H. It sounds like just another 4-H week to me, but I'm excited that y'all are going to be doing that and bringing some attention to what you do. We love our 4-Hers, we love the program, and the great job that Katrina does, especially in working with y'all. So, commissioners, would y'all like to add anything?
I just appreciate what y'all do. It did my heart really good to come out to the new building and see that classroom full of 4-H kids the other day. That was awesome to see, that we really made a difference with that building and it's being used like it's supposed to be.
We love it. We've had Ag ID, wildlife contest practice, foods practice, robotics practice,
Yeah.
and we've had a bunch of kids already go to the State Fair of Texas competing with lambs and goats, and then Ag ID, wildlife contest, archery, robotics. Yeah, we had Navy Week at the new building, Navy Night, so we
Awesome.
put it to good use, so.
It's so much easier to tell people where you are now.
It is.
Just give them an address.
Go up here and go around there.
We gotta get our outside sign stuff put up so they can find us a little bit easier, but yeah.
Have
we're
you
there.
found everything yet after the move?
No way.
No.
No. We still got a lot of boxes to
It'll
unpack
be a
and get
while.
organized.
Just don't put up any outside signs yet. I still got something else coming.
I would also like to say, to put some parents here as well, that success of the kids is largely, I mean, you've got to do it, you've got to do a lot of it yourself and have the drive and the funds to it. But a lot of it too is parents and sacrifices that they make, and so would like to thank them as well for what they do to help raise the next generation of successful leaders. So,
Most definitely, our parents do have a lot, and then my fellow agents, Dwayne Hurst and Meredith Utley, are helping out as well, so we have a good team.
all right, I'm going to give you the proclamation because you're in the middle. And let's see if I can get someone to take a picture.
Get a picture.
Oh, come here, you got it. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you all very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sure y'all don't want to stay and talk about reinvestment zones?
We have another meeting.
Thank y'all. All right. Any other presentations? Okay. It is 10:14 a.m. and at this time we will open up for public comment. I'd like to remind everyone public comments need to be limited to 5 minutes or less. Commissioners Court cannot take action on any item brought up during public comment. Do we have any public comments this morning? I see one back there. Come on up, Lieutenant. Told him that since it was public comment, he couldn't be in uniform, so. He's actually here on his day off.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lieutenant Wilson, Wichita County Sheriff's Office. Just letting you know about a new program we're offering the county. I know that you've seen the emails going back and forth, but just to fill you in person, we are starting a VIN verification inspection program. Now, in the state of Texas, in order to receive what's commonly known as the 68A inspection, people have to have these for special titling concerns. A vehicle that have been titled in Texas, a homemade vehicle from out of country, transposition on a title. What we have to do is we are auto theft investigator trained. You have to be certified in order to be certified to utilize confidential VINs in order to ideally verify these vehicles and prevent auto theft. So in the past, people have had to pick one of 2 days to either go to Decatur or Fort Worth, 1 day a month for 3 hours with a limited number of spots. And if you weren't one of the 75 in Decatur or the 125 in Tarrant County, you had to wait till the next month. That was the closest that we've had up until last month. We are going to follow similarly in that we are going to have the second Wednesday of every month. I placed it there so that we would be able to be in different calendar periods than the other inspections, so if they missed one, they may have an opportunity at others. There are 3 of us who are able to do these inspections. I spoke with Commissioner Beecham. We're gonna utilize, so we don't need a hard facility. Obviously, any kind of cover during rainy days or hot days, you know, is appreciated, but we're gonna utilize the parking lot over behind Central Bail Bonds, because it's a simple setup and tear down. Eventually, I would like to move that out to the way station. Once that's built, it's ideal for it, but that's step C and we're at step A right now. State statute does allow us to charge $40 per inspection. I have not approached you with this because we don't know how many we're gonna do. And the cost, if the decision is made to charge for those inspections, we get into then how are we going to take the payment, what kind of payment, how are we going to account for the payment. Right now, the cost benefit's out of line. If I'm only doing a couple of inspections, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Now then, obviously, if you were to choose, and we have the volume, we could then take a look at what, with Matt's office, the best way to approach that. Again, not required, but it is allowed. And that being the case, stick our toe in the water and see where we are with it. The $40 inspection fees are general fund items. They go back in the general fund.
And they can be anywhere from 0 to 40.
Yes,
That's just the max.
yeah, it's up to 40 by statute. So we are kicking it off this next Wednesday, but it may be light because just trying to get the word out. I am working now with through our social media department, with Tommy Smythe's group, contact the DMV.
And
There is
DMV,
one.
Greg, is that not a lot of the promotion comes from DMV?
Yes.
Giving people the option of where to go?
Maybe
Yes.
not promotion, but direction.
Direction.
We haven't had this in Wichita County. Wichita Falls PD had it probably 10 years ago.
Yes.
They have one inspector currently.
And I was the last auto theft investigator that they had that we quit doing it, and I couldn't get them to re-up. This, I'm gonna tell you right now, as being a prior auto theft investigator, I'm very thankful that the sheriff agreed to do this, and I'm great. It's great that the county's doing this. This area needs it tremendously because if you, anytime dealing with trailers, farm trailers, trailers is the biggest thing.
Big
People
thing.
that build their own
Big thing.
trailer, it's such an inconvenience, myself included. I probably have 3 right now I need to take down there. I'm really glad you are coming.
And I've utilized that service, and
Yeah.
it very inconvenient being in Decatur, Texas, and we've done it on trucks, large trucks before, where we've had to rebuild a cab, had to have the serial number or the VIN number re-changed around, verified, and that process is really burdened when you have to leave town and drive and then sit in line because there was every bit of 75 people waiting.
They usually max out their appointments.
And then you can't get in. You have to come back another month.
Yeah.
It's really,
Greg, what about being online to register?
Yeah.
I have already set up online registration. Now, in our case, I'm limiting it to 30 appointments because we only have 3 inspectors. But I don't know what the volume is yet. But that is already on our website. The sign up is open.
And our website, meaning the sheriff's office website.
Sheriff's office. My next step is to contact IT about possibly putting a link back over to the sheriff's office, the tax assessor's office. We're working to get that active also.
When the word gets out, you're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
about half those cars that sold in that sale last week are gonna have to be inspected, antiques.
Already have done it.
About every other one.
We went out there Thursday morning and did that.
Yeah, it would need
So-
to be done, so there's gonna
There's a
be.
big need.
It was fun trying to find the VIN number on 1928 Model T.
Wow.
Can we do a press release from our office? Or has a press release been done?
I'll draw one up for you to consider.
Word gets
Send it out
out,
to
you're
our-
gonna be busy for a while.
Well, I've asked Deputy Waddleton to work with our media partners also about PSAs. Since we aren't charging it as a free service, that may change obviously in
Yeah.
the future. But at this point, it's something that we want to offer the citizens.
Well, it's rare that we have an office come and provide a service to our community that's free of charge and much needed and being
Well,
proactive, and
we
I
wanna-
appreciate you bringing that to us.
We want to do well.
Yeah.
So,
It's a big benefit to our citizens.
Absolutely.
and I will say that you 5 men know where to hunt me down should you have any questions or concerns. Please let me know.
Hunt you down like a rabid dog.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good news, it really is.
Awesome.
All right, do we have any other? Do we have any other public comments this morning?
I'll just say this, Judge, I'm very happy that all this has come about. We've been working with William and staff and Greg. It's, like I said, for a long time, you could only go to Jacksboro, and then that stopped. And then all we got now is a motor vehicle theft auto task force from Fort Worth, or I guess Decatur as well. So, I mean, this is, when I say the word convenience, and Mary knows what I'm talking about, this is a major convenience for anybody that's got a title, I call it a title that's out of square. A lot of these titles are out of square. And it just takes this process to get cleaned up. This is a win-win for everybody.
Well, I think every one of us has probably sent a trailer down to Decatur.
I haven't for the county, but took a couple of phone calls of people asking how to do
Okay.
it, so. Any other public comments this morning? Just one, my scheduling reminder, there is no Commissioners Court next week. And we will resume with our normal Tuesday meeting on the 14th of October.
One comment, I hear there's a good band playing tomorrow morning at Soberfest. So.
Oh, that is another thing, public comments. Friendship Festival, Workmanette tomorrow during the day, concert at night. It's Friendship Festival in Burke's a great event to go to if you've never been, so just throwing that out there, refresh people's memory.
Friendship Festival, and I guess the question for both, Soberfest is where?
It's at Copperhead Harley, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, going through the evening. They also have a barbecue contest that I
Need
guess
a
I'm
judge.
judging again. So it's a really good event for our local community. So
And Friendship Festival is?
Tomorrow, I think, starts 10 o'clock in the morning, but the concert is, I think the concert doesn't start till 6 tomorrow evening. It's at the Friendship Park in Burke.
Who plays there, Mick?
Casey Dunn?
Casey Dunn.
Yeah, Casey Dunn.
James Cook,
Oh, wow.
James Cook playing also.
Yeah, I think so. James Cook.
Awesome.
There's two openings, and Casey Donahue is playing, but it'll be a good show.
That's the headliner, yeah.
Good deal. All right, any other public comments this morning? All right, it's 10:25. Public comment is closed. Let's move to the consent agenda. There are 2 items on the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions, edits, requests on that agenda?
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments on the 2 items on that consent agenda or on the motion?
Is the $881 the final sale price total?
Yes. It was a little less than what we had
Authorized up
requested
to?
for it, and
Yep.
that was because the county doesn't pay property taxes, so
Sure.
it reduced from.
Okay, I
that
wondered
amount.
why the difference in the money. Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to general business. Item number 1, Public hearing to consider the approval of the Wichita Solar Reinvestment Zone Number 1 pursuant to Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. I will note that this public hearing is starting at 10:26 a.m. All right. Every member on this court's done this a few times, but I'll just remind for any of the public watching. This decision on the reinvestment zone is whether or not to designate this tract of land as a reinvestment zone. And what that would do is it authorizes abatements to be issued on a project that is inside the reinvestment zone to encourage economic development. This is a necessary step to making an abatement possible, but the abatement itself is a separate item. So we are not talking about an abatement application or an agreement today. This is just a step to allow for those negotiations and for that to happen. I'll also remind folks, none of this is required for Total to move forward with the project. That is a private decision between a private company and private landowners. This is a process that allows involvement of the county for the abatement process. But I know there's always some confusion about, is this us saying that it can happen or not? And in Texas, that's not a decision the county gets to make. That is a private landowner's decision. So with that, I'll invite the folks up from the Total project. If y'all just want to come forward and remind the court of the basics of the reinvestment zone and the project and all of that. I know that we probably all remember it, but never hurts to remind.
Okay. Let me start from the top. So my name is Quinard Jackson. I'm development manager from Total Energies. And the project is encompassing 6,000 contiguous acres down Burke Burnett Road. And we plan to build a 725 megawatt solar project that'll encompass that 6,000 acre land. Is basically with like 3 landowners. I don't know. That's really about it.
And from start to finish, until it's completely utilized on the zone, how long will that be, Quinard?
How long will it take to build?
The entire thing.
So we plan to start construction in January 26th. So coming up very fast. And it'll probably take about 2 years to build.
And that will complete the entire zone?
Right.
Or just phase 1?
Just phase 1. So just the first 6,000 acres.
So the ask is to do a reinvestment zone on the entire project, both phases, so from 287 to the river essentially.
No, not what you're saying, Quinard. You say it's only for phase 1.
Well, we were right. We were open to either doing it for phase 1 or for just phase 1 and phase 2. So we were leaving that up to the commissioners to basically kind of decide. But we were okay with just doing it for phase 1.
I thought the request was for the whole thing.
It is. This,
correct.
The request is.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
12,000 acres?
no, it's isn't it just the 6,000 acres?
1 second.
Commissioner Watts is, this is for the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
So which is the larger,
Yes, I thought the original ask was to do the reinvestment zone for the whole
6,000
property.
acres
Yeah, that's
covers
what I'm trying
phase
to
1
understand.
and 2.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay,
Okay.
so that would essentially be from 287 to the river.
The river.
I don't know.
Of course, they're a good
That's the
one.
map.
Is that-
So there's confusion. The reinvestment zone would cover the area of land that's in everyone's packets that is encompassed by the red boundary line. That's for the both phases of the project. That is not 6,000 acres. I thought that was larger than that.
Yes, that's larger than 6,000.
I thought it was 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, to your question, phase 1 is what they're planning on starting construction on
In
in
January.
January.
26.
Okay.
Likely, if Total comes to request an abatement, and what they have applied for right now is just an abatement on phase 1.
Phase
What this does is it creates the reinvestment zone to allow for those negotiations to happen on phase one, but also the zone is already there so that if within the next 5 years they want to request an abatement on a second phase, they can do so without the need for another reinvestment zone. And again,
That's what I
yeah,
understood.
There was some confusion last time as to what the northern boundaries with phase one were.
Of phase two, the northern boundary of phase.
No,
phase-
they were-
the northern boundaries of phase one. Where are y'all stopping the construction of phase one? What's the,
It would go to the FM 17.
It's this road right here, the,
Right, so
the heavy
2345.
yellow road.
2345.
Yeah.
Cut in the middle there.
That's what you explained last time.
Correct. He can pull it up and then I can direct.
it's in the backup documentation. I will put it up on the screen so we all see what we're talking about.
well, I mean, from the standpoint of this decision today, because it's the whole reinvestment zone,
We're voting today on the
we're
whole.
voting on the
The
whole
whole
thing that's
thing.
in red
And-
boundary.
I wanna
And that,
know
how many
where we're
total acres?
Where we're starting to build and what's the first project?
We don't know yet. All they're doing is asking for a reinvestment zone. They haven't applied
What-
for any abatement yet.
Well, I know, but they do understand the boundaries of their zone one.
Right.
And it wouldn't exceed, or it wouldn't be any further north than,
Well, it goes all the way to the river.
not on phase
Phase
one.
one.
That would be phase two.
Right.
So it is my understanding that this action doesn't change
It-
any tax valuation, if you've got an ag, valuation on that property, that stays until you take the next step, that's fine, so that's correct, okay.
And 2345, FM 2345 is the northern boundary of phase one.
Correct, that ends phase one.
Yeah.
And again, this is not, but the decision on an abatement for phase one is a separate item. It's not up for discussion today.
Right.
It's not on
But-
this today.
But the TERS is for the entire property on the map going all the way from 287 to the river.
That is
That's what I'm
correct.
trying to understand.
And Jim, what is the purpose? Why is a reinvestment zone even needed?
Required by
Why-
legislation.
What's the value in creating a zone?
I mean, the reason it's required is the legislature has required it. If you're asking why the legislature has required it, I think it's designed for a couple of reasons. It creates a two-step process to sort of slow things down so that the public can be aware of what's happening. So that now, there are some counties that do both of them at the same time. They do a reinvestment zone and an abatement at the same time. It's been my preference, that we slow that down so that the public is aware of what's going on.
It basically gives notice.
Yeah, but the idea behind the actual reinvestment zone itself, and Mr. Fry can jump in if I mess this up, but I think they didn't want these zones being thrown around willy-nilly, but so that they are actually encouraging economic development, and there's some criteria around what that economic development looks like. That's why the legislature requires this, and reinvestment zones can look like different things in different parts of the state for different projects. But I think the short answer is they want there to be a multi-step process where we or whoever the political subdivision is, has to actually look at it and make a finding essentially that this does encourage economic development in a place that otherwise wouldn't happen without this reinvestment zone.
Right.
So, am I wrong in my understanding of the original intent of the TERS was to defer a portion of those collected tax dollars for reinvestment within that zone to improve roadways, et cetera?
No, it's
TIF
no
zone.
requirement.
That's a TIF.
You have TIF and you
Yeah.
have TERS, and TERS
TERS
is
is-
deferring, it's just removing the tax revenue
Yeah.
for the
But-
eventual benefit.
But if I decided to buy a 10-acre parcel in a reinvestment zone, it means nothing to me.
That's correct. Doesn't mean anything until it's separate.
And as Barry mentioned, if I had ag value on 100 acres of cultivation and a reinvestment zone covered it over, that doesn't mean anything to the appraisal district that sets either the ag evaluation or commercial value on the property.
That'd be a change of ownership or change of use.
Right.
In order to affect that, correct?
Yeah, if it was in a, say, a Texas enterprise zone or deemed that, you wouldn't even have to have a reinvestment zone, you could use the Texas enterprise zone, so.
It's an economic development tool.
Yes, sir, it is.
But it's also, I think it's also a tool for making sure the public's aware of what's happening.
And they must be contiguous, the reinvestment zone must be contiguous, so
I see.
that's why
I'm gonna make the motion then,
Yeah.
to approve the reinvestment zone for the outlined area.
We're not there yet. It's not a public
Oh,
hearing.
we're
But
still public.
hold on to that.
I'm-
I like the, like the desire to move things.
So this is the boundary we're talking about?
Yeah.
Everything in the red,
Everything in
the red line.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure I understood.
Yes,
And
sir.
what is the purpose of having such a boundary that is indented and moved? Why wouldn't you just go out and place a rectangle over that entire boundary?
You
What-
could, and there are some counties who, in, say, far west Texas or wherever, they'll deem half their county a reinvestment zone. You know, that's very possible. They try to keep this reinvestment zone based on where the project or the two phases would be built.
Okay.
Because I think that folks at the state level might frown upon just a blanket,
Right.
but maybe not. I don't know.
And
But,
if you-
I mean, for example, those little indentions up north, 2/3 of the way up the map, if there was to be encroachment on solar panels coming into those, we would have to modify the zone to encapsulate that area that is right now outside?
Only if there was an abatement on it.
Right.
And there wouldn't be, and so at that point, if they needed to come into that and they could do a separate deal with the landowner.
You'd have to create a whole new reinvestment zone because they cannot be amended.
Oh, they can't be amended,
Right.
wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we have to come back and start over.
Well, you could create a new.
Right, just
Reinvestment
a new
zone
one.
number 2.
Right.
Right.
And amend the agreement to
Oh,
include.
okay.
So I'm guessing that there's been some negotiation with all these land parcels that are included within the reinvestment zone.
Yes.
That's why it's drawn the way it is.
Correct.
There's already been
Discuss.
some discussion with those landowners and they're favorable to moving forward.
Yes, the discussions are ongoing,
Ongoing,
I would say.
okay.
Again, that's a private decision between
Yeah,
the
no, I
landowner.
get that, I understand
Yep.
that, but
But so you're saying then, unless those little, areas that were carved out, if no abatement was ever requested, no zone amendment would ever be required. Even in the event that there is no abatement requested here, there would be no need for any investment zone to be created.
That's correct.
Correct.
And they only last 5 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if nothing comes of it, the reinvestment zone expires after 5 years.
What happens if something comes of it? What happens in 5 years?
Then
You
if
renew
we can either redo the zone or I guess we would need to through the life of
The reinvestment zone only must be active
at
when
the
it's
start.
voted for at the
Yeah.
start.
Oh,
At that point, the abatement agreement would be the.
And in reality, there is a reinvestment zone already out there that the school created for the 313, but the county or city cannot use the school's reinvestment zone.
oh.
Well, the main point for me, and Commissioner Watts brought it up, it really doesn't affect any individual landowner
No, sir.
that's in there. And we are very pro private property rights, and so we don't want to do something that there's a guy that owns 100 acres up in the middle of that thing that doesn't want to be involved in it, but it brings no peril, no challenge to
No,
him.
sir.
That's our main, I think that's our main concern.
that's,
Where you run into that a lot is with the large wind project,
Yeah,
and there might be some landowners that
To
don't
hold out.
participate.
yeah,
And so that reinvestment zone has to go be contiguous, so it would have to include their land.
it opens doors, but it doesn't.
But they don't have to
close
sign
doors.
any deal or allow turbines or anything on their land or
Right.
panels. So,
okay.
All
Very
right.
good.
Any other questions on that? Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
At this time, is there any member of the public who wishes to speak on, for, or against the implementation, or the approval of the Wichita Solar Reinvestment Zone number 1? Okay. Commissioner Shelby, any other things you'd like to say before we end the public hearing on that? All right. Well, it is 10:41, and the public hearing is closed. At this time, we move to item number 2, which is discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the county judge to sign a resolution approving the Wichita Solar Reinvestment Zone number 1.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to authorize the county judge to sign a resolution approving Wichita Solar Reinvestment Zone number 1. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 3, review and approve the regular bills for payment. Verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize the county treasurer to disperse payroll and/or bills within 72 hours by U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, electronically, or be picked up and acknowledged by a ledger signature in the treasurer's office.
So moved.
Second.
Before we take action on that motion, I did want to point out that there is an ARPA payment for the Wichita Valley project on this one, of $644,000 and some change. So I know it's come up a couple times. How's that moving? Is the money being spent? Because we've got that clock hanging over us. There is that large one on this one.
Yeah, that project has expended 1.2 just for that single project, and we expended about 1.6 in total for that project of the 4.5 million. That includes, there will be another 1.4 on the water line project in itself, and then they're also going to do the tower project after that, and so that should expend all of those funds.
You said tower, is that the pump station
Our
project?
pump station.
And I've been asking about that lately. I don't know if you've got any new news, but I hear they're still waiting on material for that pump station. It has not broke ground yet. They are moving along
They're moving
well with the
along.
water line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're watching
So-
it go in.
Okay. So yes, we got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve bills, verify taxes have been filed, and authorize dispersal of payroll and bills. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you to the auditor's office. It was a quick turnaround this week on all of that, so thank you all for the work there. Item number 4, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve and ratify the minutes of the September 30th, 2025 regular session. The things that, the minutes that were in the packet are from July 29th,
Yes.
it looks like. They've been corrected.
Morgan got them fixed this morning, so
Okay. All right.
thank you.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve and ratify the minutes of the September 30, 2025 regular session. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, the motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve the 2026 Employee Health Insurance Plan. All right. Let me spend some time laying this out, then I will open it up for members of the Employee Benefits Committee if they want to say anything. And then, of course, commissioners' questions, and like we normally do, and then open it up for everyone to offer their input on this. First of all, I want to start out by thanking people. First off, the members of the Employee Benefits Committee. I went back and looked, and the committee started meeting on April 25th, spent 1.5 to 2 hours a week, almost every week since then on this. It's about 30 hours of meetings alone, and That's not including the outside reading and work that folks did. Thank you. However this proposal goes today, I think we've got a core group of people who understand health insurance a lot more than they probably ever wanted to at the end of that process. I'd also like to thank all of those businesses and entities that responded to the proposal. You gave us a good range to look at and to make an informed decision on. I would also like to especially thank Kelly Fristow for the work on the education at the beginning of this process and for helping us devise the RFP. And then finally, even though as members of the committee who really dug in for meetings every week, we've had a lot of employees at the county and commissioners, quite frankly, who've had to do a crash course on health insurance and have done so with gusto. And so I'd like to thank them for doing that and for asking questions and getting involved in the process. So I just wanted to say, whatever the court does today, a lot of people have done a lot of work to get to this point. This is an important decision for the court. In fact, it's one of the most important we make every year for our health insurance benefits, but especially as we contemplate a change. It affects all of our employees. For some of our folks, it's more important than the paycheck for why they work for Wichita County. I'm well aware of that. It is the interaction of two things that affect all of us, our health and our finances. When the court opted to pursue options, we did so from a stable position. We've got our folks from TAC in the back of the room. Our health insurance through the TAC pool was serving us well. We were at no specific crisis point to drive it, but I know, and y'all had heard me in our mid-year reviews, I was frustrated that year after year we were paying out a large amount of money and our claims were significantly under that amount. This court also believes in competition and checking our options, and we wouldn't know if our current plan was good value unless we had something to compare it to. So we appointed an employee benefits committee made up of a combination of elected, appointed officials and employees from across the county. I won't go through the details yet again of the committee's work because we've all heard it by now. We also had a workshop on Tuesday that was a 2-hour plus opportunity to ask questions about the plan design and how things will work. We could spend another 2 hours going through every specific, so I'll just hit the highlights of what the proposed plan does. It is a 2-tiered network plan with using quotes, neighborhood providers as tier 1 and a second tier of Cigna providers. For the employee, what this means, if you go to a neighborhood provider under the proposed plan, that means $0 out of pocket or copay, whether it's primary care, specialist, or preventive. The provider list is extensive. It was showed at the meeting and also I think was sent out this week. We have that list if anyone wants to see it. But it's an extensive list, and it includes specialists both here and in the region. Obviously, the one notable exception to this at this time is the United Regional Healthcare System and the United Regional Physicians Group. Outside of that neighborhood network, there's a $2,000 deductible, and the proposed plan eliminates the health reimbursement agreement, the HRA. Unlike our current plan, there is no difference between the deductible and the out-of-pocket max. So even in an emergency, the most an employee would be on the hook for in a year would be $2,000. For prescriptions, the plan is largely the same as our current one, with one notable exception. If you get generic medications at a local pharmacy, which for the purposes here, local means Harvest, Trot's, Franklin's, even United Supermarkets I checked on is considered a local pharmacy. This generic cost for our employees is $0. A final highlight, this is not only a shift in plans if we approve it, but it marks a culture shift for how we as a county and as county employees approach our health care. There is a dedicated advocacy team as part of this plan to help each of us find high quality care at a lower cost. Furthermore, as a self-funded plan, the money that we save is ours to reinvest here amongst our employees. I genuinely believe that if we approve this, most of our employees will save money next year while accessing health care in a way that they haven't before. I know there is consternation about change. I also know that with the rollout of anything new that's this big and affects this many people, there will be some bumps as we figure it out. But if it's approved, we will be doing a massive on-site education campaign over the next few weeks to visit with everyone and answer questions and inform. EBC, the employee benefits consulting, who is the proposed plan on this, they have done this before here locally, across the state of Texas, and across the nation. With that, I would like to invite any of the members of the committee who wish to say anything, good, bad, or indifferent, about the proposed plan or the process to do so. So at this time, I'd like to invite any members of the committee who want to say anything.
Judge, Commissioners, I'd just like to reiterate that this has probably been one of the most belabored projects that I've been involved with in a long time. As the judge mentioned, it started in April, probably well over 30 meetings. The meeting where we actually decided to go with our provider, that meeting was over 2 hours, and then came back out of that, decided we thought we'd put another hour into it, brought it back before the court, and then brought Rachel back up here to a little over 2.5 hours last week. So we have beat this thing 6 different ways from Sunday, but it's something that should have been that needed a lot of scrutiny. It affects a lot of people, but on behalf of a great member of the committees, members are not here today. A fine bunch of people we've had the privilege to serve with. I appreciate the manner in which you conducted this over the last several months, Judge. It's been a great committee to serve on, but a lot of time, and I can only say for anybody in the general sense of county government, there is a backside to health care that in a perfect world everybody should see, because for a lack of better words, I can't think of any better word. It's a very sobering experience to see the back financial side of medicine. And there's times on this committee it's been like cranking from a fire hydrant, and Matt and Randy's here today, and maybe a few others, but nevertheless, it has been a very eye-opening experience, and well thought out, well planned. And I appreciate the judge taking this to task. I mentioned this to the judge his first year in office, but your first year in office, you're trying to get both hands on the steering wheel, and last year
And stay above water, literally.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Last year we were dealing with water issues. But nevertheless, I appreciate everybody, I appreciate the judge, and I hope the court would really take into consideration what we've tried to do for the betterment of county and county employees. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tom. Any other member of the committee wishes to say anything?
Sure. As a member of the committee, I want to tell everybody again that the ultimate goal of this was to make it the best we could find for the county employees and the best for the county and the citizens of Wichita County at the same time. Not just looking out for our county employees, but be well-rounded enough to look out for everybody's best options. We looked at everything that we could, and as a committee, we came together, and this was what we chose was the best option to pursue. Plain and simple. Looking out for our employees and with the best benefits long-term, because everybody sees the way insurance is going. And not that we've had any bad experiences with TAC, because a lot of people are comfortable to stay always where they are. It just seemed like the better, in the committee's mind, the better option to go, the better way to pursue it. And I don't believe that, I think EBC has demonstrated and explained to us that they can handle this enrollment in the time that they have. I think it would be in a perfect world, I'd have loved to have another month. But as we all know, there were some reasons that other month didn't happen. So, just as a committee member, that's my 2 cents on it.
Okay. Any other member of the committee want to say anything?
I would just agree that it would be beneficial to have more time. As some of y'all know, with the beginning of us getting closer to the end of the year, obviously you have open enrollment. That's a huge task for the county. And then just speaking on behalf of my payroll guys, they have to not only review the deductions that come in for the plan changes every year for all of the things that we do in enrollment, but they also have to go in and update everybody's payroll. And updating everybody's payroll for 480 employees is just not a small task. And then reviewing those deduction changes is also another 2 or 3 week long process. So not knowing what that's going to look like is a little concerning.
Yeah.
Just a little concerning, or are you confident that you can get through it?
We'll get through it. It's just
That's a very valid question to you guys.
How many
You're gonna be
hours it'll
implementing
take is really what it boils down to.
Well, and I don't understand the line in the sand. So, why does those, early enrollment, why does starting, stopping, why are they drawn in the sand as far as the number goes?
Thank
Well,
you.
the short answer to that is that because the plan is an annual plan, and so on January first, every year, the way our plan is, we have to do open enrollment. There's a deadline because of federal law, for when you can make changes to your plan. And so those are all coming upon us at the end of the year.
That's law.
Yeah. And so it varies based on, you can have a plan that runs at a different time, not just the calendar year, but the requirements of when you can do enrollment periods.
Within a 12-month time frame.
Yeah. And so our plan, whether we continue to stick with TAC or we switch to something else, we have to have that open enrollment period, and it has to be done before the end of the year, so that those changes can take effect.
And let me ask you this, and that may not be unique, and it may be unique, but when my doctor changed medication and went to a new medication for me that was has no generic, and that the 30-day supply is $1,800, Blue Cross Blue Shield would not underwrite that at all. I had to request and ask for, through the help of TAC, a exemption for that. They reviewed it and approved it. If we was to come out from under that blanket, is there a possibility that I'm back faced with non-paying for I know it's not generic, and I know there's no generic form out there at this time.
Y'all know me, I don't like speaking in absolute black and whites unless I'm absolutely sure of something. Jeff, I think within a 99% willingness to say this, what you would do in such a situation is similar to how you did with Blue Cross Blue Shield. You'd call the advocacy team, they would get with and then they would work with the prescription provider to run down a lot of the same traps that Blue Cross Blue Shield does, which is see what manufacturer help there is out there to help offset those costs, go through the different federal programs that exist to try to reduce those costs and get that to you so that you would not be on the hook for that yourself. The same tools that Blue Cross and Blue Shield used are the same tools that that EBC's advocacy team and then the PBM that they use would also use. So am I going to sit here and tell you I'm 100% sure? No, because I can't do that. But the way that the prescription plan is drawn up is, at worst, it's the same as what we have now. But for a lot of folks, I think being able to use the advocacy team will save them money on those things.
And I can give an example. We have a girl who's on a medication that there is no generic, and it costs close to $10,000 a month. And she's already spoken with them, and they are able to outsource internationally, and they've already spoke with her and shown her they've found it significantly less. And she's no longer going to have to fight for credits and trying to get that cost down, that they're planning on doing it for her, and then has already given her their cell phone number and getting things lined up. So there is a scare in that, right? And another thing the committee, I'd like to say, is that it was taking Matt and his team into consideration was a huge factor in voting and for wanting this so soon, because we don't plan on just dumping it on him. We've all offered to try to step in and help in any way we could. And there's several employees that are very excited, given their medical issues, in hopes of being able to save money now because they're so sick. And if their doctor's not on the list that we've been given, Rachel's made it very clear that they're going to try to get what doctor's not on that list in hopes of saving us all money. So there's a lot of employees I spoke with that are very excited and they're watching y'all right now.
I know a lot of them are, so a lot of questions, a lot of concerns.
And those, Randy, that lady, y'all reached out to her before they have, and that's kind of showing you the heart of that company. They reached out to them prior to us going in any kind of contract with them and are already trying to help them out to find that. So, I mean, I think that speaks volumes also.
And again, I'll reiterate something I said. None of this is a criticism of TAC. And as far as the heart of that, it is a different model. The model we have with TAC is the fully funded model.
It's Blue Cross, not.
Yeah, it's and so I do want to reiterate that, but it's a different model.
Yeah. TAC's been a wonderful partner in everything, and it's no bad reflection on them. We very much value our relationship with TAC.
And I think TAC is more the insurance goes this direction. I think TAC will probably open up more markets in that direction also. I can see it in a lot of different insurance companies looking at these different ways. And I'd say you're in agreement with that.
We're always looking, so yes, it's what we have to look at is what we can bring to the whole state.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a pull.
Unfortunately, so yes, but no, we are always looking at innovation ideas.
Again, we very much value our total relationship with TAC, and it's no bad reflection on TAC whatsoever. We much appreciate you guys.
I'll open it up, for any commissioners who have any other questions, comments, or anything, feel free to jump in, but also any employee who's here, or anyone who's here in the audience who has any questions, comments, thoughts, open up at this time.
Well, my big concern from the other day is, do we have enough time? And I'm still concerned with Matt's statement. So, payroll?
I wasn't a part of the implementing the changes last year. I suspect I will be a part of it this year. But I dealt more with inconsistencies after the changes were implemented with regard to what the vendors were saying and what we had to deduct. So there's always gonna be.
It's a huge task to dump on y'all all at once with a very short time clock. That's my big concern.
But the nice thing is there's software available to upload. And that's one thing that Matt and Mike really ask about in those meetings. Is there a way to upload all that information straight into their office? And there is. Go ahead.
And the amount of people that Rachel's planning on bringing in compared to what we typically have is significantly more.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I was gonna say that, and I understand, I fully understand Matt's concerns for his people and what it means, and I do genuinely believe this, that when we're talking about this in mid-January, if we move forward, I think it's going to be less than what they thought it was going to be, because I think the EDC is going to be on the ground with.
And she indicated that.
Yeah.
And she did, and I'm confident that she was telling the truth about that we're gonna have a lot of boots on the ground. I am concerned for our staff.
Well, what changes, Wilmer, and you can speak to this, I feel like what Wilmer was doing is probably the most time, the one that requires the most time to be spent. But is there a change? For example, I would envision that 80% greater than that have zero change to their medical requirement. The county pays for your health insurance, and then all these options I've had for the last long time from Higginbotham, all that stays the same, and you just are basically verifying the fact that is, or if there was a change, you're making sure that the system notes the change.
From my perspective and role, I have to reconcile the benefits bills every month. With regard to TAC itself and the healthcare bill, very rarely since I've been on have I experienced moderately, moderate changes or issues that I've had to reconcile. In my experience, it's been the other benefits vendors that we have inconsistencies with regard to what we're deducting and what's being invoiced.
On the ancillary benefits
But-
side?
Yeah.
But am I correct in saying that you won't zero out everybody's account in that concern and start over again inputting information into 500 employees? They would basically stay where they're at. You just reconcile to see that our system corresponds to the vendor invoices that you receive.
I wouldn't know how to speak to that because I don't know the back end or under the hood with regard to how it is that we program UNIS.
Yeah, I would, the way that this, again, this question came up during committee meetings quite a bit. It's my understanding that on the back end side of that, Wilmer, do you essentially get an Excel spreadsheet uploaded to you for what the changes are?
It's my understanding, James did it last year, and he compiles an Excel sheet for all of the vendors with regard to deductions, benefits deductions, and then it's reviewed and then uploaded. But the difference would be that it's a new vendor with new codes that we would have to construct.
The way that I've heard this addressed directly when Matt was asking this question with Rachel was they would essentially every month upload the Excel sheet to us. There is a software that they can provide to use that plugs into UNIS so that it's seamless. Again, it's not my world that I work in, so I can't speak to that 100%. Another thing we're doing here is if we move forward, we have not changed the premium structure at all. The tiers stay the same, the amounts stay the same, so that it wouldn't be an extra burden to try to change that too. In some ways, we could do a passive open enrollment if we wanted to, where unless you engage and say, I want this different, I want something different, everything just gets imported over. Again, I can't speak to the back end of what that means for their operations, and I don't think Wilmer can either, because I don't think you know.
I would think that is well over 80% of our employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
But if you don't look at it annually, you're liable to forget something or do something.
And then no change to our, the options or additional changes needed to accommodate this $2,000 deductible to our flex spending accounts?
No, so that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Because the question was brought up of whether or not we would go away from the flexible spending account and FSA to a health savings account, an HSA. I think if we do this, we're doing enough change. So adding that one more change, probably not a great idea. So we would stick with the FSA. It would roll over in the same way. The funds are spent the exact same way. The HRA is going away. I want to be clear about that. That would be going away under the new plan. The deductible as a whole is smaller. 2,000 is less than the out of network right now is 7,500. The in network is 3,000, I think. The HRA helps offset some of that. So could there be some employees next year who have something happen who end up being out of pocket under the new plan more than they would have been under the current plan? Yes, that is a possibility. There are also, I think, more employees who are going to be less out of pocket than they are under the current plan.
But Higginbotham, under their flex account that they manage for us, you are protected as an employee. If you was to go to the hospital, if you have a flex account set up correctly and you're at least retaining $2,000, that you walk in, the hospital says, well, Mr. Watts, we need a $4,500 payment for that. I know that I'm protected after 2,000 and I could pull the 2,000 if I was an employee out of the flex account.
That's correct. And that's something that I think will be a part of whatever we do. I think that's something the committee saw and something that we're going to encourage, and I think this court's going to encourage. We need to do a better job of educating employees on the overall health care costs and what all of these different parts of this mean. Because I think a lot of employees don't understand that if they do put in enough money in an FSA, it's tax-free, and they can save up enough to cover their catastrophic, whatever might happen, so that they would not have that unexpected bill. Now, if something happens in January, no one's ever done that before, they haven't built up the cushion yet. That's true,
But,
no matter what.
but with the flex account, January the 1st, I have my 2,000.
That's correct. I just, if it's someone new who hasn't done it before, they could run into, they could run into that
FSA is a
issue.
good thing. I hope we're not ever planning to get rid of that.
No, I mean, I think that's something that the committee and the court can look at next year. If an FSA is better than an HSA, and I want to do that, but that is not contemplated for 26.
But the HRA, we were underutilizing that one
Sure.
tremendously.
Yeah, tremendously.
And so
Employees didn't
this,
take
this
advantage
makes
of
it
it.
easier on the employees to get full benefit. We do have a higher deductible overall, but
Again, only for
But-
the out of the
but-
second tier network, but yes.
But that higher deductible is still well below what the average around the area is for employee
Yeah.
provided plans.
Yeah.
This doesn't affect colonial health stuff.
No.
All of the-
All of the Higginbotham stuff remains the same.
All of the ancillary benefits is
I'm
still going to be the same.
Say we still have a gold standard plan.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I mean, it's,
And again-
it's pretty high.
I'm pretty sure all 5 of us are on the health plan, right? I genuinely believe that at the end of this, employees are gonna, like, it was gold standard before, I think they're going to be even happier
Yeah.
with the plan. But I also
It's
understand
enough, isn't it?
that's easy for me to predict right now when it hasn't happened yet, I get that, so.
Well, I think a lot of the fears were dispelled earlier this week, in talking with the employees around the courthouse. I haven't heard negative feedback from them, all I've heard is positive. So that's a good thing. There was a lot of trepidation going into this. There were a lot of people that were scared to death we were gonna give them a second-rate product.
We're all scared to change.
Yeah.
I'm
I am
right there
too.
with them.
I am too.
I probably use my medical more nowadays than I ever did before, and I'm.
And not nearly as much as you should, but that's a different
Yeah.
story. Any other questions or comments before we take action? Okay.
Well, so Judge, explain to me the difference between 5 and 6. I'm not.
So 5 is if we're going to choose to move forward with EBC and the plan created and do that with a rollout in 2026, we need to take action under 5. If we choose not to do that, number 6 was so that we could renew our current plan with TAC for 2026. That's why Commissioner, probably could have been one item, but I wanted to make sure that an employee who hadn't been paying as much attention as some others have on this was looking at it and go, well, they've already made up their mind and whatever. And so I wanted to make sure that it was laid out in that capacity.
Motion to approve EBC as a health insurance plan
I'll
and
second
move
it,
forward in 26.
and with still the concern for our auditor staff being able to implement this. I hope we do have the boots on the ground to make it happen.
We have a good auditor's office
Yeah,
that
no doubt.
has come up to,
No doubt.
has been able to handle some pretty big challenges this past year. I'll say that. They've found a lot of stuff, and they've had to fix a lot of stuff, and they've handled some big challenges. I do think that, and I really hope that EBC is able to work with the auditor's office to make that as seamless as we can on the importing of information.
I see that,
Yeah.
but Matt's comment gave me a little cause for concern that he has some worries going into it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot on Matt and the entire
Yeah.
auditor's
Yeah,
office staff
for sure.
plate this year.
For sure. I don't wanna burden them any further.
Yep, I understand that. And but it's also a testament to his and his whole team's character. When you asked the question, he said, well, we'll get it done.
We'll get it done, yeah.
Well, another office to work with here is HR, and I think that gentleman standing there, Kenneth, is gonna realize pretty quick that he's gonna be in the full on board helping in this process also.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
EBC has a lot of incentive to be on the ground and helping
Yeah,
us make the
I
transition
get that.
successful, so.
I think their system is, as far as, I think they call it Navigator is what they use.
Mhm.
And I think that's gonna help a lot too, so.
Okay.
And that, getting it all, and they are transitioning it all from paper to
Yeah, it's all
digital, so
electronic.
that's really gonna help out tremendously.
Yeah. Instead of having to make appointments for 500 employees, you'd have the option to do it yourself, so that could help too.
That would be good.
Well, Judge, I'd just like to say that, you know, I have total confidence in the committee that worked on this and the time they put in, that y'all were concerned and worried about what these changes look like. It was a new concept completely, but I was confident in the fact that y'all would get to the bottom and
Yeah.
determine the right way to go.
Yeah. Again, it wasn't absolutely unanimous, but it was nearly so. Everyone was convinced we needed to change. The question was, could we do it in 26 or should we wait till 27? And I think after we've seen this week and even the last 2 weeks what has happened, that we're ready to roll.
We've certainly taken votes on bigger dollar amounts, but I don't think that we've ever taken a vote that has affected so many people at once.
Yeah.
So.
With such a change.
Yeah, with such a change,
Yeah.
so, yeah, thank you for the committee that did all the big legwork on this. I know it was challenging, so I appreciate what y'all did.
Thank you. There are a lot of people that put in a lot of time trying to get some wisdom. All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve going with EBC as our broker consultant and moving forward with the proposed plan for a 2026 rollout. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Again, thank you to everyone for the work on this. I would say now we've gotten to the starting line, so hope you're not too tired.
Here we go.
Item number 6, discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the county judge to sign the TAC Health and Employee Benefits Pool, HEBP 2026 renewal notice and benefit confirmation, member contact designation, and Healthy County Wellness contact designation forms for the renewal of county employee health insurance benefits. As previously discussed, with the action the court took on the previous item, no action is necessary on this. One more time, I do want to thank our TAC folks who are here for the work they have done. I don't think anyone that's been a part of that work will have anything but good things to say and recommend to counties who might be in a different position than us on whether to work. And it's also, I mean, quite frankly, it's nice to know that if what we did either is unsuccessful in the short or the long term, TAC has already said, come on back, which is a nice backstop to have, and it's just an indication of the mission and what TAC does.
And Judge, on that note, will there still be a portal operating through the deadline needed to determine what our current HRA reimbursements look like, or?
Everything will remain in place like it is, like it has been, because our plan it still remains with TAC through the end of the calendar year. The HRA, for instance, there will be a holdover time because the way health claims work, and everyone knows this, sometimes it takes 2, 3, sometimes even longer than that months for things to work through. So yes, that will all, there will be a transition period where those funds are still able to be accessed for 2025 claims that are incurred. And there will still be a lot of communication for the handoff that will be happening and that will have to happen. And I just want to call out Kathy Davenport. She stepped in to take over as our consultant when there was a position to be filled. after we lost our previous one. She has been quick to respond. She has stepped in. Heck, this week she had to get in the middle of some things because there was a concern that one of our pharmacies was rolling off the plan now that we have on October 1. It was a miscommunication, but she stepped in. Kudos to you, Kathy, and thank you for the great work you have done for us since stepping in for just the last couple of months. But to answer your question, yeah, there will be a transition period.
Judge,
Yes,
if I may, of course, we appreciate everything you do, and we realize the position as commissioners for such a large group of employees, that what you face. We appreciate it, and we have loved working with you this entire time. But please know, even with this move, we are still here. You're still part of the association, you're still part of the TAC family. So it's not like at conferences, we're gonna sneak and run.
Better not, 'cause we'll see you next week, so.
Yes, sir. So that's never going to happen, and during this transition period, we will do everything that we can to help EBC in getting this, so it is a smooth transition. We're still gonna be here, we're still gonna be here for your employees. Even after the fact, if they have a question, we are always a resource for anyone and everyone.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that relationship very much.
Yeah.
And we hope you still participate in our fun run walks.
Well, and it's a different pool, but our liability and our property insurance is still a check as well. So it's a different money level, but all right. So with that, there's no action that needs to be taken on number 6. Is there any objection to tabling it?
And we're good.
All right. Number 6 is tabled. Item number 7. Thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
Item number 7, discuss, consider, and/or take action on the selection of a construction contract method for the Burke Burnett Annex project. This is a new one for us, I think, because we have used the same method for at least all of my time on the court.
We've used a couple of methods, but the primary's been CMAR.
Okay. So this is for the Burke Burnett Annex project, obviously. We need to decide as a court, because we're not utilizing an ongoing contract or an ongoing project that we have working. Court needs to decide what the construction method is going to be for this project. There are 5 different methods that governmental entities can use for construction contracts. This is the section of code that dictates all of them. We'll be happy to run through all of those if you want. But basically, I think after having looked at this, and I know that Commissioner Fincannon is serving as the point person on this project, I think after looking at everything, probably want to use the design build process for this, which is where the court would pick one firm to handle both the design, so the architecture and engineering side of it, as well as the construction side of it, as opposed to what we typically use with the construction manager at risk, where we hire the architect to serve in a capacity to help us select a general contractor who's going to be in charge of it, and then they handle separate subcontracting bids and all of that. This would be a little different from the standpoint of we would just select a firm who would handle all
Design,
aspects
bid,
of they design it and they build it, exactly.
Design, bid, build.
There is on that design build, I will say that there's usually, everything's up front. There's not, there shouldn't be the change orders or the add-ons, because it is a design build set to a specific budget everything's up front picked.
But they act as the general contractor too?
Yes.
Yep.
And just from experience, and we did this at Iowa Park, CISD, a long time ago, back in the late 90s. What is our remedy to ride shotgun over the project?
So what we will need to do is we will need to appoint a independent architect or engineer to serve as our expert, independent, representing our interests in checking
I like that.
and making sure that the work being done is, at all aspects of it is being done in a way that it needs to be. A lot of entities that use this method are typically larger cities or school districts who often have their own architect or engineer on staff who serves in that role. Obviously, Wichita County does not have that, so we would go and hire an independent architect engineer to do that.
Even on the design build part though, that architect or general contractor, the construction side of it, goes out for bids on all the items inside of it. Your point person from the county, myself, would also be involved in all the selecting of the subs. They don't just get to pick what subs they want to use, because their construction business might not have the best painters in the group in town, or they might not have the best framers or that type of stuff. So there is selection inside of that too. They're not just going to use their construction people. That makes sense. Right. But with our engineer, architect, and myself being on that, also protects that, which subs.
And just ask Melvin's input here. When I was looking at it, that hiring of that independent, I was worried it was going to slow it down because we would need to do a separate RFQ to obtain that person. But from looking at it, Melvin, you don't think that is a requirement, that we have to do that?
No, you do need to get the most highly qualified person, which entails some level of comparison.
Right.
That's part of it. Now, that how we do that comparison obviously could be an RFQ, whatever the court decides. But as long and the key thing is you don't look at price first. You look at the quality.
Yeah,
They've got to be
that's
qualified,
right.
and
Right.
only then, once you've decided on the entity, whoever you're using, do you look at the price. So it is a little weird in that way.
Yeah.
That's how that was supposed to be envisioned, I think.
We've talked about this before, how it is a little odd that price has nothing to do with it except like at the very back end. However, with that said, the qualifications of any of the folks that we're going to be looking at are going to be similar from the
Still control the price of the project.
Yeah. That's correct.
the bottom line.
That's correct.
Control the price of the project.
So it's a lot of new things we're doing here today, but
So you need a motion picking which one.
yeah. Did you want to say something else, Mark?
No,
Okay.
I've worked on design bid build projects before. They work well.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different for us to do it that way.
Yeah. There's the extra step of doing the outside architect engineer, but to your point, Jeff, I'm glad we have that because we don't have that expertise just to make sure that we've got somebody representing our interests.
Right.
In addition to the commissioner. who's serving as
I
the-
think that's crucial because what we got into was architect that was willing to overlook some things that were not done correctly. And so when you have someone on your behalf looking at those projects, it makes a big difference and can call them out.
Need a good quality control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Individual, that's what it's all what it's
with this kind of project.
Yeah.
Or with this kind of construction method, not necessarily the project, but the construction method.
I think you need that on any project.
Yeah.
No matter what any kind of project, you need somebody there that can quality control it and look at it. Get another set of eyes on it.
So yes, we'll need a motion of which type of method we want to move forward with.
I'll make the motion of design bid build.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to approve using the design build construction contract method for the Burke Burnett Annex project. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item?
One question, do
Yeah.
we need to include in the motion to advertise or to RFQ for?
We certainly can, just to cover our bases. I think that it's implied in in the undertaking of the design build, but we can
Well,
certainly
amend it to say, to approve that method and to seek qualified candidates, or however, whatever the language, the proper language is, to seek
Seek qualified.
qualified agents to bid.
Okay.
However we word that.
Yeah, no, I
You
think
know what I'm
that's,
trying to
that's
say.
right, yeah. Need a motion to approve design build as a construction contract method for the Burpernet Annex project, and authorize seeking qualified candidates to bid for the project and to serve as our independent architect / engineer. All right. Do you have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? Yes, sir.
Not so much the motion, Judge, and I know this is all, Mickey, I'm just kinda asking for a pie in the sky date, but do we have any type of wild, tentative ideal when this thing?
It's gonna depend on how long when we get the bids, when we start going here, we'll have another process where we're gonna have to do a bid, get that building, for the demolition of that building, what we're gonna do with it. I'm gonna have to follow up with Jeff and see what our possible uses of that building are, if we're gonna demo it, if we're gonna sell it, if we're gonna keep it in-house and use it for the county. Until I get that, it's hard to say, but I would say that we wanna be breaking ground by the first of the year.
I appreciate that.
Or the January area. I'll stay in touch with you, definitely,
Yeah,
and let you give some heads up on what kind of dates we're looking at.
we'll also need to know that for getting alternative space for
Yes.
the offices, JP offices, while the construction goes on.
And that is the only, Mickey, the only location suitable. There's no ability to scoot around or
I don't know that you want
purpose.
to. We have the space there. I mean, there's some.
Only thing I'm thinking, is there another footprint that you can build a building on, leaving you intact as you are, so that all you do is move to the new building? Is that?
On my lot?
Yeah, I can't
No.
see the lot size or anything in my mind well.
I mean, you could build one back there where the gravel's all piled up now, but then you're gonna move a gravel pile up on the front corner of your property, which.
But there's not either side of the building or in front of the building or anything that front would be horrible
that
probably.
Corner lot where it's at right now would be the best long-term view.
Are there any parcels available in that general vicinity that?
I would, I'd rather be in closed session before I answer that,
Okay.
because I wouldn't want somebody to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
turning it to that other road.
I mean, the cost,
Well, you gotta think.
the cost to house out of building,
Well, we may have a solution there, working with partners at the city of Burkburnett.
okay.
Is there any ability to turn it toward the other street? It is on a corner.
It would,
I'm like Jeff, I'm having a hard time envisioning, I'd have to go look.
Yeah, I can't see your
I
lot
mean,
size. in
yeah.
my-
I have the plans up, you gotta think, that there's already been work done by Harper Perkins on this whole survey of the land to get it all laid out to where it's at now.
I see.
The topo's been done, the geo's been done.
Yeah, the geo's done.
So, that's all been done.
Yeah. Well, my only deal is, I see that as an opportunity to, this is your chance, if there's something you can do to make it better, now's the time.
And we are enlarging the whole footprint of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, considerably. I mean, so, I don't know, I think the layout, and none of y'all have seen the layout because I can't discuss it with you, but
Yeah.
there's plans already drawn,
Okay.
so.
Just trying to explore all the options.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 8, receive update on courthouse renovations and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham.
About the only thing to really report different is they finished the Iowa Park, the road patch that we did, so we'll be strapping that in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have an additional 9 spaces out front.
Did that layout smooth, Mark? Look
It's okay, yeah, it's
Pretty
not,
good.
not perfect, but it'll be perfectly functional, so.
Mark was good. Mark.
Well, I mean, we didn't go out there with an asphalt
Right,
lay down machine and all that.
Remember that response.
It'll be perfectly functional.
And Mark, the steps look great.
The steps do look good.
I like
Ricky and I are gonna
it.
walk those this morning before lunch and get a punch list on those, cause I know there's a few areas of concern, but overall, the project turned out great. Security project, they're working in both buildings. I think today they're doing the vault in the district clerk's office. I know there was an email sent out by Judge Butler that they were closed today to do the doors, but that was not scheduled with Digi to do the doors, so.
Oh.
So I don't know what that was. I guess there's a miscommunication there. So, but that project's moving along fantastic, so. If you haven't already heard, or if you're having problems with your card, your existing cards should work on all the doors now. We're waiting till the very end of the project to issue new credentials, but we found out that the readers will work on our existing cards.
And right now, it's only the exterior readers that we have set up to work with the badges, or even the internal ones are already going? Some. Okay. So I guess if folks are used to or normally able to do exterior, and they can't right now get with your folks, Brendan? Okay.
Yes.
But we think that's all been,
And they've been proactively
yes.
addressing that, because they can see if somebody had a failed attempt, and they can go in and fix that.
Yeah, mine didn't work yesterday at the west door, and I was like, all of a sudden, there was IT coming down the hall. I was like,
Yeah.
well, how did
They're-
you know
they're
I was
being-
standing here? I was
They're-
like,
Brendan's group's
Yeah.
been very proactive on
I was
on
like,
top
that's
of that,
fast
so-
service there.
I'm sure it's helped that, as you've said a couple of times, Digi's been a great partner to work with.
Oh, yeah.
on this.
Well, yeah, it's just seems so modern down when you go now.
It cleaned it up.
I didn't realize it was clunky like it was.
We moved into the 21st century.
All right. Any other updates?
No, that's about it.
All right. I know everyone will be disappointed to not see each other for a week, but any other questions or comments on this? All right. It is 11:38 and court is adjourned.